This is a story of my bastard Stratocaster. It is officially a Mexican-made Stratocaster. All right, this thing is my favorite guitar right now. I had to sell all my guitars back in 2010, financial crisis. And we came up with a brilliant idea of opening up an artist space, and every one of my guitars went away. Yeah, that was rough. And I spent the last 10 years kind of trying to find guitars to replace them, but I also didn't want it to be the same sounds that I had before. I had a Les Paul Gold Top. It was deluxe, actually. Gold Top, beautiful guitar, great for the grunge music we were playing back in the 90s. And had some Rickenbackers. Had a 325, which I absolutely loved. It was a beautiful thing, John Lennon short scale. And what else did I have? Oh, God, I had this gorgeous Brian Setzer flame top, gorgeous Gretsch. Anyway, and I'm getting upset. And a Hofner, 1968 Hofner. Anyway, life goes on. And the experience of doing what we did was pretty cool, and I'll cover that in different videos. Opening up the artist space was really cool. It ended up being a rock club and inspired a lot of musicians to continue playing music or being in music or getting their music out there. It was pretty cool. But again, that's another video. So after kind of being guitarless, after having no guitars, I had one beat up Guild acoustic. That's all I had left. And I bought this piece of POS. This was a $90 purchase when Sam Ash was going out of business, and it was one of those cheap, hey, teach your kid guitar thing. This thing, I gave it to my son, and he learned to play guitar on that. Eventually ended up doing some modifications on it, put a new neck on it. It was pretty awesome guitar now. But I needed a good guitar, and I've been searching to replace those Rickenbackers for years. I guess I still miss that Rickenbacker sound, but I needed a guitar that was a little bit more versatile. And so I went to my favorite shop, Motor City Guitars, out in Waterford, Michigan is where it is. It's outside of Detroit. It's definitely worth the trip. It's got two massive, I think it's Gibsons, in an X thing, and you walk through that. It's pretty cool. Got to check it out. Motor City Guitars. So if you happen to be in Detroit, definitely go to Motown. Definitely check out some of the cool sites in town. It's a pretty cool place now. It used to be pretty scary way back when my family used to live there. But these days, it's definitely worth going down to like Corktown, and Jack White has his Third Man record pressing plant there. That's pretty cool. Anyway, back to the guitar story. So I've been looking for a Rickenbacker, and I found one. I found one last year. It was a 360, I think it was, and it was a consignment deal, and it was pretty expensive. And I went to check it out, and I put some money down on it, and unfortunately, I didn't buy it fast enough, and it was sold, and I didn't get it. So I was still looking for a Rickenbacker. So he shows me this shiny, beautiful, gorgeous, short scale 325, John Lennon, absolutely gorgeous, price tag over $3,000. It's brand new. I mean, Rickenbackers are gorgeous instruments. They absolutely are my favorite design. They absolutely are. I mean, for functionality on stage, I love a Gibson. The power, the sustain is incredible. Stratocasters, I never played one on stage, actually. I always played Rickenbackers or Gibson. Yeah, that's right. No, I played a Fender Telecaster way back in the 80s. But anyway, I've been looking for something that sounded like a Rickenbacker, but wasn't the price tag of a Rickenbacker. And I kept going back to the shop every time I was in Michigan and checking out different guitars, and I could not find anything that could replace that. So I went to the back of the store where there was all the sad guitars that aren't being sold, and the very unusual guitars, which are actually sometimes really cool, but sometimes the necks are out of alignment, and sometimes It's just sad. It's like the pickups don't work, the jacks don't work. And I saw this one. And I asked him, I said, so what's up with this? He goes, oh, it's a consignment deal. But the price tag was not reflective of what this could be, right? So I plugged it in, and the jack immediately did not work. I had to kind of like do the whole trick around here, and eventually got some sound out of it. And I kept playing it. I probably played 20, 30 guitars that day. And I just kept coming back to this guitar. And as I found out, and this is the coolest part about this beautiful bastard, it has this. This was made by the Custom Shop. I'm not sure where that is, and if you do me a favor, tell me where that is, or maybe there's multiple custom shops out there. But they installed this little toggle here, and the way it works is that this pickup is supposed to sound like a Rickenbacker. So obviously I'll play it to see what you guys think. I'd love to hear comments. I'm interested in expanding this channel. I'd love to tell you my insane stories of being in the film business and the music business. And this channel, it's only going to be about the music business. It's going to be stories about meeting James Brown and working with Metallica, and really kind of living out my rock and roll fantasies as a sound engineer. And sometimes as a musician. I had to make money somehow, so I became a sound engineer. But anyway, back to the bastard. Okay, so here it is. So what I've been doing lately is I just been loving playing those 50s chords, and using the whammy. I like the single coils, but I'm not always in love with the single coils. I like the bright tone of it, and it has that typical. Let's see, I'll put it in here. I'll put it in what sounds like a Strat. So. So that kind of sound is really pretty. So why is it a bastard? Why was it left there to rot for a year, 2 years, gathering dust, nobody playing it? Well, first of all, when I plugged it in, this jack was messed up. So it was intermittent, and people were probably like, screw this thing, put it back on the rack. Second of all, it had this P90, at least that's what my friend Phil, the rock god, formerly signed to major labels twice, said it's a P90. I'll take his, we'll take a listen to it. We'll see what it sounds like. We'll see if you think the same thing. Anyway, so the thing that I liked about it was not the sound of the P90, but the fact that they installed this toggle, which if you put it into the upright position here, then it became very similar to a Rickenbacker. But, you guys be the judge. So this is your standard. I'm going to put it into that position. Going to be in the bridge pickup position. Trying to keep it quiet here. And I'll play like a typical REM riff. So that's with the Strat sound. Now, if you use the toggle and you put it into this position, let's take a listen. So to my ears, that sounded a lot like my old Ricks. Not exactly. It's missing what I call the mushroom sound. It doesn't make any sense to me, but that's what I describe it as. But if you do the jangly, so let's do this. Let's do the jangly part of driver 8. So this is with the Strat sound. put it on the Rick sound. Let's see. Definitely thinner. So anyway, so that I thought was a really cool thing. So I could kind of get that Rick sound, but I'd still have the Strat sound if I wanted. And then I could have basically a bigger sound with the P90 in this neck pickup. So, you know, going into a distortion here, I mean, I guess if you're doing standard Strat, it would be in the middle. Let's say this would be like your sound. I don't know. And the P90. Switch it back. So it can sound pretty aggressive. Anyway, it's really fun to play. Whether you think it sounds tougher with a P90 in it, whether you think it sounds like a Rick, the thing about it is it's just a blast to play. It's easy to play. My son, who's a guitarist now, is much better than me. He loves coming over and playing it. I think it's the kind of thing I got lucky. All I know is that it works. It works for me. This sad little bastard was adopted by this sad little bastard. I don't even know if I could say that on YouTube. Anyway, this baby is my favorite guitar right now. I'm definitely looking for other stuff. I'd like to go and buy that old Gretsch back. Yeah, I'd like to maybe Country Gentleman, who knows? Anyway, this is my guitar of choice right now. It's been a lot of fun playing it. It's really got a lot of sounds. So hopefully you enjoyed my story of the bastard Stratocaster. And go visit Third Man in Detroit. Go visit Motown. I know I'm forgetting a couple places that you got to check out. Go check out Motor City Guitars up in Waterford, Michigan. It's a little bit of a hike. But Michigan's a pretty damn cool place for rock and roll. Pretty good place for guitars. They still do it. They still do it right out there. And, you know, they could teach us a few things out here in New York. You know, I love that shit.